play and teams don't have much time to prepare, the system is the impressive part of San Antonio in 82 games. And then you get to the playoffs and, you know, the combination of talent and players and pop and the system, it all like adds up. And so whether they're down or they're not, you're still playing San Antonio in San Antonio with as impressive a system as to me there is in pro sport.
Everybody always says the system, but for those people who don't know, what is the system?
A defensive identity, an accountability to what those defensive rules are first. There's a motion concept and ball movement concept and team concept that you know comes to my mind on the offensive side. And then you just weigh it all up into like a bunch of good guys playing for each other. You know, that ends up, you know, kind of the hybrid version of my version of their system.
Coach, how did pop influence your defensive philosophies?
I mean, I've been always around defensive coaches. I see the world through that lens myself. He took that belief and tightened it up with NBA rules. Like, this experience in San Antonio was my first NBA experience. And it's a different sport on many levels, like the NCAA and FIBA basketball and, you know, high school basketball. The NBA is different with the rules and the wording and the verbiage, all that type of stuff, you know. So like just a real sort of a detailed approach to what defense really is in guarding so many situations.
Are you still going with Timothy tonight at the 2?
Yes.
What do you attribute to his improved play?
Opportunity. I think opportunity. I think, you know, finding piecemeal minutes is hard for anybody, let alone a young player, and it's just part of being maybe an old player or a young player. That's the role that you have. Like when JJ comes back, you know, there's going to be obviously some changes in how I sub our team. I got some decisions to make, but when you give somebody, you know, a chunk of time, a consistent chunk of time, I think they have more of an opportunity to do well.
Well, you said something about Curry. You said like he was the type of guy who can not play for 3-4 games, but then when you put him in there, he came ready. And it just seems like, I guess for Timmy, that's something that you want him to learn because he's not always going to be the starter.
It's true. Mm-hmm. And if you went to any NBA team, a head coach would look at like certainly one guy, but probably two, that we would have this conversation. You know, and it's usually, you know, wings, like can you come in and make a shot? Can you come in and make a play? I know you haven't played for 2-3 games. I know you haven't played for 46 minutes. But here's 2 minutes where you got to come in and produce. And that's just part of like people understanding that's the NBA is part of people's roles and like how you stay ready, how do you stay engaged mentally and physically. It's hard. It's not easy, but it's true. And so young guys, as they make their way up the food chain, especially have to learn that. JJ Redick is, if you're interested in this whole type of evolution in minutes and understanding roles, JJ's a great person to talk to. Like he didn't really get into a rotation. I think it's till his 4th year in the NBA.
Okay. Where are you at with Jared and JJ as far as their injuries and stuff like that?
Jared's still day to day. Jared still day to day. JJ, you know, is a ways off.
Coach, you've got 3 back-to-backs coming up before All-Star break. How do you approach that specifically with Joel? Has there been any more thought in terms of what you'll do?
It's still fluid. You know, it's still fluid as to what his personal schedule is going to be. I'm a recipient of, you know, news from our medical staff. We think about it all the time. But as far as, you know, announcing a plan, we're not even close to being there yet. I think to judge stuff, you know, after each game is probably more responsible, and see how his body is feeling. But we're in a very condensed stretch coming up. You know, there's a lot of games between now and the All-Star break. And, you know, we've all heard about rookie walls and stuff like that. It's true. So I'm always mindful of, like, not overloading our guys, especially at this time of year right before the All-Star break.